So, good afternoon and welcome to Kitty Talks. We share inspirational life stories that empower you to create yours. And today I have a very good friend of mine joining us all the way from beautiful LA, Sandra Biskind. Welcome, Sandra.
Hi, Kitty. It's great to be here.
And Sandra's story is going to blow your socks off. Sandra is a spiritual teacher, speaker, and the best-selling co-author of the Code Breaker Platinum series. She works with conscious leaders, business owners, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about the work that she does. But I really wanted to bring her on Kitty Talks because she has got a phenomenal life journey and life story, which I was lucky enough to hear in Morocco this year. So, Sandra, welcome to Kitty Talks.
Thank you, darling. It's so great to be here. And I think that, we all go through what we go through to get to becoming the best version of who we are. And I think I better take you back to about 1971. Some of you won't have even been born then. But I was 18 years old and I almost died. In fact, my right ovary burst.
Wow.
And they couldn't find a surgeon in my hometown. Yeah, it was intense. But rather than going into a place of fear, I had this incredible thing happen. And it was like I went into this absolute place of peace and love, love. Everything was love. And I was totally aware of what was going on around me. I just trusted that everything was as it should be. There was an integrity to it, it felt right. And I was completely neutral. And the oneness, oh my goodness, there was a unity. I felt like I was all of the nurses, the doctors, the other patients, my auntie and mum crying in the hallway. There was no separation. And I was incredibly mindful of my own inner emotions and my thoughts. And my inner emotions and thoughts were, wow, this is amazing. So this is what joy and love is really like.
And had you had any experiences?
I knew I was.
Had you had any experiences like that before? Was that kind of like your first almost spiritual awakening in that moment?
That right then and there, I was actually elated to realize that was a full enlightenment experience.
Wow.
And that was the first time I had that experience. But however, when I woke up out of that surgery that saved my life, I was in a really trashed out, painful body. But my connection to divinity, to divine beings, since I was 3, I had divine beings speak to me, specifically Jesus.
Wow.
This little 3-year-old, and I went to my mummy and said, Mummy, what does he talk to you about when you go to bed at night? And she deflected perfectly and said, what does he talk to you about? And so although I had access to, I'm probably called a medium or a channel right now, but although I had access to that divinity, after that surgery when I woke up, wow, everything was totally more deeper, more incredible. I knew things that I didn't want to know. I knew this connection was just so powerful. And it wasn't like it was coming from outside of me. It was like it was a part of who I am. And, really for those of us who are on this journey, that's a very important point, and that is you can only bring forward more of who you are. And that's why it's very important to get yourself in a very high frequency, so that as you are bringing forward this beautiful information, that it is coming from a very clear and true place. For instance, I knew, Kitty, that my mother was going to die, and I begged her not to have surgery. And 2 months later, she had a successful hysterectomy,
right.
But she was given 18 pints of the wrong blood.
Oh, my God.
And so at 18, I'd gone through this spiritual awakening, and then I had to leave school. And in the nightmare of losing my mother, who was a 41-year-old beautiful woman, I jumped in to help my father with the fashion business. And within 2 years, I had sold the business for them, married a man 10 years older than me, and started my own first fashion boutique. And that was a whole nother journey. But spirituality at that stage was put on the back burner as I was coping with a lot of ill health, marriage to what turned out to be a very abusive man. And after 7 years, I got up the courage to leave that, and I knew that I needed the tools, I needed the techniques. If I was going to not only survive but thrive in my life, and you know what? That's when I discovered meditation.
Okay.
And that's when I began to master the art of changing frequency, and that changed everything.
And I love this concept and idea of changing our frequency, because I'm a massive advocate of it. And, you know, I think it's imperative for people listening. Like how, if we know, we talk about purpose a lot on this show, Sandra. How can people use the concept of changing their frequency to help them sort of tune into their life purpose?
Well, for me, it's the most important thing, because it's who you are being in the world, not what you are doing, that is important. You know, Neil Donald Walsh said, when it's time for you to leave your body, your soul doesn't care about what you've been doing. It only cares about who you've been being whilst you've been doing it. And so to really achieve our purpose and goals in the world, we have to be at a frequency that attracts success, that attracts more of this fine information, that attracts high frequency. And truly, when you're oscillating at that place, because everything is energy. I mean, I know that your listeners already understand that. Every single thing is energy. And really, don't forget, thoughts are energy. In fact, all of our work that my husband and I have created is like, we call it the Platinum Life System, and you've already heard what Platinum is because I went through it during that Enlightenment experience. And so in the Platinum Life System, as you master the high frequency beingness states of peace and love, awareness, trust, integrity, neutrality, unity, and mindfulness, as you master those, you change the way you show up in the world. And as you change the way you show up in the world, people go, wow, what's going on? Who are you? I want what you've got. And it's not quite as easy as that, because you actually have to master the low frequency blockers to those things. Like, for instance, what will block us having peace. And therefore, out of peace we actually power up our life to live our purpose when we're in peace. So if there's someone in your life that you haven't forgiven, unforgiveness will block you from being able to live in a place of peace. And, for me, no wonder Platinum starts with peace, because that's the bedrock of everything. From peace, we find bliss and joy and happiness. And without that, we have a whole heap of emotional leakage. And as you well know, Kitty, you cannot contain emotional leakage to one area of our lives. It affects our work, our relationships, our health, everything.
And one of the things that I love to encourage people to do, Sandra, and I'd love to get your take on this, is, really this concept of following our bliss. Bliss, joy, passion is a really high frequency. And so, you hear that term, follow your bliss, and actually it makes a lot of sense, because when we do the things that come, I believe, when we do the things that come naturally to us, that bring us joy, it does put us on the right path and help us become in alignment with the person we're supposed to be.
Exactly. And, that's what I've been doing. It's very interesting, even though I had a very successful 25-year career in the fashion industry, which I did love. And when I met my husband, when I was 45, I met my current husband, Daniel, and we created the world's best luxury coastal hotel. But that was by mistake, by the way. The actual following our passion was to create a space, a sacred space that people could come to and actually, really discover how complete and perfect they already are, so that what they turn their mind to is what they love. And a lot of people don't realize that what you're doing, you can love what you're doing no matter what it is. I always caution people, I know a lot of people in corporate globally, right? And a lot of them come into this and they start discovering that their spirit, their being is more important than making money, although making money is just, for me, like, money is what brings us freedom on this planet, freedom to be able to go to Marrakesh, Morocco, and meet people that you love and know, right? So for me, your purpose is you love what you do. When I had that retreat in New Zealand, where people would come from all over the world to work with us on a spiritual level, I used to help the cleaners and I used to do everything. And people would say, "What are you doing?" I said, "I love cleaning those toilets. I love making those beds. Somebody's going to sit in that bathroom and someone's going to go to bed in that." And I have put all of my love and this frequency into those areas, and people are going to feel it. And, no matter what you are doing, find what you can love in it. And that's until you find what it is that you feel it is and you want it level. Because it doesn't mean that we're going to find that straight away, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And I would love to hear your advice on that, because is it a case of you kind of continue doing something while you love it, and then once it starts to lose that kind of passion, is that when you advise them start to look for the breadcrumbs about what to do next?
Yeah, for me, it's very important that people understand. People can become quite idealistic, and they can say, "Oh, I went to this incredible weekend and I learned so much about myself and about healing and about spirit and what it's all about, and I love this world and it calls me." However, it takes time, it takes work. I've diligently been on this path for over 40 years now, and so it's taken me a long time. I first, then I was, doing the spiritual work and the retreat, but underneath everything, I never lost sight that enlightenment was the end goal. So all my holidays, everything that I did was around my passion. So you can do what you need to do to make money in the moment and to support yourself and your family, but you can have that can be the hobby until it's no longer the hobby, until you're living it full time. For me, I'm absolutely living my purpose full time, but I wouldn't have been able to do this straight away. Yes. I needed to grow into it. And this is something I love people to understand, that we all need to grow into the acceptance of our own perfection. Isn't that crazy? The fact is that we're all already complete. We're all already perfect. But we have these unconscious programs running our business, running our life and relationships. And from those perspectives, they stop us from living our purpose and passion. So my advice to everybody is, if you really want to live your purpose and passion, get clear. Like, clear out the blocks to what it is that you love and what it is that you even people sometimes find what they love and then they sabotage it, because they start to think, especially women, they start to think, "Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not beautiful enough." They're all of those things. They're already all of those things. But these are programs from childhood, past lives, they're passed down from other generations. And I think that's what fascinates you so much and me about my work, and that is that I focus entirely on what's going on in the unconscious. I'm not at all concerned with the conscious mind. It rarely lines up with the unconscious mind. So this is the conscious mind up here, the ego mind, and down here is the unconscious mind, and these two hardly ever line up. So this one says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be this, and this. I love it." And this one says, "No, you're not. You're not good enough. That's not what's going to happen." And so this one will always win above the other one. And that's why I think working with the unconscious blocks is probably the most important thing you can do to achieve your passion, your purpose, and that sense of peace, where the power comes from to actually move forward and achieve what you want to achieve in the world.
And I know, obviously, I've been lucky enough to witness and go through some of Sandra's work. She led a workshop for us when we were in Morocco, and so I've experienced her. And Obviously, people listening, go and check out her work because it is incredible. But Sandra, what advice would you have for someone listening, about how they can uncover some of these blocks that may be holding them back?
Look, the most important thing to understand is the minute you feel fear, negativity, or pain, there's an unconscious block going on. It's really simple, not necessarily easy, but I really love that. Fear, negativity, or pain, anxiety. That's why we created the Platinum Life System, so that you could discover it. But without having to delete the blocks, you can still bring yourself back into peace, right? So let's say that you really want to expand the love that you are, because that's the highest frequency there is. But there's fear, because fear is the blocker. So when you're starting to feel fear around anything at all, you can pull yourself back and go, wow, I've just taken myself out of the high frequency of love. What do I need to get myself back into that place? So back in your heart, take a few deep breaths and go, oh, love is who I am. That's the truth. So what do I have to be afraid of? Nothing, right? Trust, for instance, when you start to worry and get anxious, okay, hang on, what am I worried about? I'm worried because I no longer trust in the order of all things. I don't trust myself. I don't trust someone else. What do I need to do to get back into trust? So obviously using that system is going to help us realign with, realign the two. But find someone like me who can get in under those systems. Now, I've got on my website, Kitty, I've got a free program. I think it's called Reset into Freedom. It's like 3 live phone calls where I'm going through and correcting people and finding the unconscious programs. And when you listen to those phone calls, you get the corrections.
Wonderful.
So your unconscious your mind is it's you. Yeah, isn't it great? Did you notice that in Morocco, that when I was correcting other people in the group, that everyone in the group was starting to feel, wow, I just made a shift then. What was that? And so doing something like that's a great way to do it. Like really get in under, do the free programs, do the meditations. We've got a book, by the way, where this is our legacy work, and our book Codebreaker is coming out at the end of the year. And I lay out for everybody the entire system, how to get into the unconscious, how to use the Platinum system, and here it will be for you in one book that you can use, and it actually just continues to power up your life, change your frequency, get you to neutral, and get you into that really, really beautiful place that you want to live in. I mean, who doesn't want to live with this baseline of joy and love and knowing the truth about who we all are? I know I keep saying this, but I can't say enough. You are a perfect divine being. You are already complete and whole. There's nothing you need to do, get, give, or say. You just breathe into the perfection that we are. And from that place, then we can do the work that we need to do in this weird world that we live in to get totally clear, to understand that that is the truth. Because I can say it's the truth because it's my experience, but if it's not your experience, then what do you do to get yourself there? Just get clear, use the Platinum Life System, and then you come to this incredible place as well. And I want every man, woman, and child to be living in the place that I'm living in, because I knew at 18 that enlightenment was the only thing that was going to stop suffering, mine, yours, and the whole world. And truly, that understanding has not changed.
Wonderful. And for people listening, we are going to have all of Sandra's details in the show notes. So you'll be able to connect with her, find her website, and obviously go and check out the new book that's coming out. That sounds fantastic. But before I let you go, Sandra, I want to sort of talk to you about a bit of advice. Like, you incredible sort of spiritual teacher, author, speaker. What is the one thing that you know now that you, obviously for our listeners, could have a big benefit to them in finding their purpose? Put you on the spot.
Finding your purpose is such an interesting one, isn't it? Look, I honestly, from my point of view, believe that everybody's purpose is to live as a powerful force for good on this planet.
I believe that too.
That's regardless of whatever else. That when we come to that place and we are dedicated to being that powerful force for good on this planet, then we know that the most important thing we have to do is work on our inner game. And when we start doing that, everything else falls into place. And so if you really want to know your purpose, it is that. It's a very noble purpose. And then anything else that comes under there is just fun. It's just meant to be fun. Like, really stop. The minute you stop judging yourself and other people, you slip into this place where, wow, you know you're a powerful force for good, because the minute you start judging anything and anyone, it's like gossiping. It makes you feel bad. It makes the people feel bad that they're on the other end of it.
Low frequency.
Anything that lifts you above the ego mind, anything that lifts you above the ego mind, anything that lifts you out of judgment, fear, worry, anxiety, that is where you will find, your greater power, because that is your purpose. The purpose for being is to live the perfection that you are.
Yeah,
whole divine woman that you are.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think that, it's our job to dig into what it is that we love and what it is that we enjoy, and then go towards those things. And then I think, slowly but surely, like you were describing on your journey, things get unveiled and the next step becomes clear.
Well, that's right. I mean, first of all, many, many years ago, I thought, I was just going to teach meditation. And then it was like, wow, that was such a tiny thing compared to what I've achieved in the world. But now I'm working with global leaders and I'm getting them clear. And after every single phone call with every one of my private clients, I am totally elated, because I've just helped clear somebody who is gone from not feeling so fantastic or has a problem to now feeling like, wow, I can conquer the world. And, for me, there's nothing more exciting than to help someone get into that place where their success is assured, where their relationships are going to be just brilliant, And that's taken me time. Honestly, with millennials, they're just everything a lot faster, so maybe not so much time. But, if you're clear about what you want and you're working on your inner game and you know that you're a powerful force for good, the minute you find out what your purpose is, you just go for it. And that purpose may change.
It's evolved
over time. I'm about to turn 65. What my purpose was, that's what as we evolve, our what we want to achieve, who we want to be in the world changes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's having that, like I was just going to say, it's having that trust, like you described earlier.
I just wanted to add one thing. It is the trust. And so one of the things that I would suggest to everybody is to find a mentor. I've been lucky enough in my life to have three incredible women who one of my mentors of almost 40 years only died last year at the age of 100. And when you have these people in your life who are the elders, who have understood their purpose and passion and have dedicated their lives to spirituality and to being the best version that they can be, they can act like a guide for you and help you along the way. And so, please, and Kitty, make no mistake, you're acting as a guide right now and mentor doing the show. And so I want to commend you for that, because people can come to this show and listen to you and listen to your guests, and they're getting the guidance and the mentorship that they might not get anywhere else.
Absolutely, yeah. That was definitely one of the goals of the show, is to, by listening to your journey, Sandra, they see themselves in the journey and have the courage, actually, that they can go towards what it is that they may feel blocked against.
Well, that's right. I mean, when you understand that it's just an unconscious block, it's just a story. I mean, I could be mired in victimhood if I wanted to be. I've had 30 surgeries. I've had an incredibly abusive marriage, suffered rape. I've gone through the death of nearly everyone I've ever loved. There's been so much in my family. And it just goes on and on and on. Honestly, the list goes on. It would depress you if you knew the things that I have been through. But here I am with this joy and love that I have come to understand was who I wanted to be. That was my soul's choice. My soul's choice was to be an enlightened being, and I have diligently gone about creating that space for me to do that. And in doing that, I've risen above all of the stories and above all of the trauma and become a self-made millionaire, and I'm living a life that suits me, that brings me joy. And as it does that, I'm able to bring other people joy. And I think that's really what we all want, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's using our kind of gifts and talents in service to others. And that's when we really, like you said, come alive and, we fulfilled ourselves.
Yeah. So the choice is, is the soul going to choose to live in, to choose to be in the ego mind and live as a victim and allow our stories to move into the present future? Or are we going to ask the soul to choose to be a high frequency being and to really do what it takes to understand the truth of that and to come into this place where we're not victims, we're taking 100% responsibility, we stop judging, we start using systems like the Platinum Life system, we start really getting ourselves into who we are. And that's when the shoulders go back, the heart expands, the joy happens, and we're like a magnet to people. And our children love us, and everybody everyone comes
us.
to this place of a deep, abiding love. Everybody loves us, and those who don't still do anyway.
Yes.
They can't. How can you not love somebody that loves you?
Absolutely.
Say that.
Absolutely. Oh, Sandra, thank you so much. I'm really pleased that we could find a time to get you on the podcast, because I know that, you just literally got a glimpse of Sandra's story. We went through it kind of quickly, but yeah, please do go and check out Sandra's website. We'll have all the details in the show notes. But thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom with Kitty Talks.
Oh, Kitty, I just want to honour you again for doing what you do. It's a big job, and you're quite an amazing woman, and I'm so glad that you are a high-frequency being.
Oh, yes. We are all high-frequency beings. I got goosebumps all through my body when you said that. But we will see you again.
Exactly.
We will see you again next week on Kitty Talks with another wonderful guest. But thank you so much, Sandra.
Thank you. Love you, Kitty. Love you all.
Bye. This podcast was sponsored by my Do Your Dharma course. Create a life so good that you pinch yourself. This 8-week online course demystifies Dharma and shows you how to tune in to why you're really here. Go to www.kittytalks.com/do your Dharma.